Some are now calling her the woman who brought down a government. Well, perhaps that's a little melodramatic, but Margaret Trudeau didn't exactly help her husband's chances in the Canadian general elections. As we all know, Pierre Trudeau lost the prime ministership that he'd held for the past 11 years. But Margaret is sitting on a fortune. She's written a book about their turbulent life together, and she even tries to explain that notorious lost weekend with the Rolling Stones. The book's called Beyond Reason, but Kiss and Tell might be more appropriate. So just what kind of a woman would walk out on a prime minister, leaving him to look after their 3 sons and Canada as well? George Negus, in this interview from Los Angeles, comes about as close as anyone to finding out.
They've used just about every cliche in the book to describe you at some stage or other. Which one's your favourite?
Scarlet woman.
Eccentric, scarlet woman.
Eccentric? Yeah,
The world's most eccentric first lady is always used to describe.
Yes.
How do you wear that?
With a good fit.
Do you think it's appropriate?
I don't know too many first ladies, but I'm sure they're all lovely, and I hope they're all happy.
What about the scarlet woman? You did raise it.
What about her? I think, as I described very honestly in my book, my marriage was broken down because we had a Catholic marriage based on the old-fashioned principle of fidelity, and I was unfaithful, and therefore our marriage was over. A one-night stand. It seems a shame, doesn't it?
Are you going to get divorced?
Well, doesn't matter to me, but I think that's the way things are done legally. I certainly wouldn't want to be a bigamist. I don't think I believe in bigamy.
Today, it's a whole new deal, and I think I've found the secret of the campaign. I have a train, and I have Margaret.
In the last Canadian elections in 1974, Mrs. Trudeau, if that's what she can be called, was a driving force, even a vote-winning asset to hubby Pierre's campaign.
I think I can speak to you of him as a person, as a very loving human being who has taught me in the 3 years that I've been married to him and the few years before I was married to him, a lot about loving, which is something incredible. It's really my very, very great pleasure to introduce to you a man who's quite a beautiful guy.
But soon after, role-playing the Prime Minister's wife and the restrictions of public life generally began to close in, fast. She admitted herself to a psychiatric hospital, and the 5 years since then have been peppered with headlines. You got married when you were 22? Was that too early?
Well, no, actually, because I got pregnant 3 weeks after I got married, so if it had been any later, I would have been in trouble.
In terms of the state of your maturity, though?
Oh. Well, my maturity at that point was that I wanted to change Pierre Trudeau's life into a happy life filled with the pitter-patter of little feet and good food and good conversation and warmth.
Do you think you've done that?
No, I didn't succeed. He didn't want it, apparently. He wanted the children, and he wanted the good food, and he wanted the, maybe he didn't want the warmth. As a healthy, wholesome, well brought up girl, I was a very good vessel to deliver 3 beautiful sons into the world. In my mind, he thought was a bit uneducated, so he proceeded to educate my mind.
Does that make you a thoughtless person?
Yeah, no. You think all the time, but how seriously do you take your thoughts?
How seriously do you take yours?
Not very. I take very seriously my emotions and my instincts and my honesty and my integrity, but my thoughts, they play tricks on me. You know?
Is that why people describe you as a scatterbrain, amongst other things?
Yes. I don't know. No, all the lonely people, where do they all come from?
It's difficult to know whether I'm talking to an estranged wife of the Canadian Prime Minister.
A strange wife.
Estranged wife. Or just a publicity-seeking, very beautiful young woman who doesn't really know what she wants.
No, dumb.
No, you're not dumb.
No.
But sometimes you do give the impression that you really don't know what you're about or what you really want.
No.
Do you?
No.
Would you go on like that?
Yeah.
Are you trying to be outrageous right now?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because I'm just kind of bored with people who want to label me as being this or this or this or this. Yes, I'm this, and I'll take all the blame, please, because, like, I ain't got no shame. I know who I am, and I know what I care about, and I love living.
Are you a little afraid of being normal?
I'm not
being
afraid
ordinary?
I'm not afraid of being normal. I know it's just not possible because I don't know what normal is. Normal usually bores me. I like to be peaceful. I like to be happy. I like to sleep at night. I like to eat well, you know. I like to kiss and hug my children, you know. Normal. It's normal. I mean, am I going to be really normal? I don't know. Normal? Normal.
How long are you going to go on like this? The way you are now? Confusing a lot of people, I suppose. Do you think it's bad?
I'm not confusing anybody. That's their trip. I'm not confused. If people are confused, well, then, be confused. That's your weight, babe, you know. Think a little bit. Think a little bit about yourself and your own freedom and whether you're free to make choices and whether you're free to care enough to sacrifice something for something else.
Is that what you think you did? You sacrificed one lifestyle for the sake of your own freedom?
Yes, not only my own freedom, but for the happiness of my family.
You think that walking out on your husband made that possible?
Yes, he actually didn't walk out. You know, he helped me to the door. He isn't like most men. He's a tolerant, loving, good, kind, supportive guy who is, you know, like all men, just doesn't understand a beautiful woman.
I suppose that's too bad, but I certainly wouldn't tell Margaret not to go at any rock concerts of the Stone or of anyone else. And if she wants to go to a rock concert, we've been to some together here in the Arts Center.
Won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends, they all drive Porsches, and I must make amens. That's Haight-Ashbury. That's Janis Joplin. I love it.
But that did influence you?
Oh, definitely. I really wanted a Mercedes-Benz.
And it's just gone on from there?
Mm-hmm.
Leading where?
No. I just like any child at 17 will do to their parents. I remember the arguments. I don't care. I just want to be free. I'm me. My parents are saying, but Margaret, I have worked so hard. You have a lovely home, a swimming pool. You have you're going to university. Why do you want to live by yourself in a basement suite? And you know, why aren't you studying economics, getting a trade? Why are you so weird? I said, because I am who I am, and I must be, you know. And like a 17-year-old as I am now, I have to be me. Well, okay, be you, but please be careful.
What have people got to be careful of?
Well, people who are going to get you from behind, you know, hurt you.
You're not just a little bit paranoid?
Not anymore. I gave up paranoia the same day I gave up guilt.
What do you feel guilty about? Anything?
No, I gave it up.
Well, what did you feel guilty about?
Oh, everything. You name it, I felt guilty. You know, just, gosh, even just guilty, even being a woman, guilty, feeling sexy when I shouldn't feel sexy, feeling unsexy when I should feel sexy, feeling guilty because maybe the soup doesn't have enough salt in it. Maybe I let my husband down, you know, guilt. Then again, no. Hey, maybe I'm okay. You know, maybe I've got friends who love me and I love them, and maybe the birds sing and the trees grow, and maybe it's all okay.
Do you think that her activities are damaging?
Well, the short answer to that is no, and if it does, I don't care, and the reason I don't care is there's nothing I'd want to do about it. You know, if she loses me a couple of votes because of that, well, I'm sorry, but I don't expect Margaret to stop going to rock concerts and to visit friends in New York, just because some people will be misled into thinking that she's not behaving right.
And then I sat back one day and I smoked this terrible thing that I swore I would never touch. And I listened to Strawberry Fields Forever, and suddenly it all made sense. It was all beautiful. We're here to learn, to give, to listen, to touch, to be. You know.
So a Smoke and Simon and Garfunkel?
No, Beatles.
The Beatles?
Yeah. Strawberry Fields Forever? I mean, where have you lived? Bridge over troubled waters, I should say. You need a lot of bridges there, you know.
Her approach to motherhood, like her approach to most things, is an odd mixture of naive wisdom and amazing short-sightedness. She sees her 3 sons, Justin, Sasha and Michelle, for 5 days every 2 weeks.
You know, sometimes I'm cross with them, but I'm always loving to them. Yeah.
Do you think that what you've done, choosing the sort of life that you've chosen to lead, is going to make things very, very difficult for your children?
No, I think it's going to make it wonderful for them. So far, they think Mummy's wonderful. Don't you think it's about time we redefined human relationships? Haven't we really messed up a lot of people's lives with our old-fashioned values, our old-fashioned bombs, you know? Aren't we in the generation that should practice what we preach, you know?
Is there a love in your life at the moment?
Oh, yes.
How many?
How many? Is there a love in my life? How many?
Well, is there a man in your life? A special man in your life?
Yes.
Any hints?
No.
Somebody will find out sooner or later, won't
Sure.
Does that bother you that you don't have a private life whether you like it or not?
Right now I do, and I love it.
How long do you think that will last?
And I don't care. Yes.
Reading things about you, and even reading your book, it's very easy to get the impression that you're preoccupied with relationships.
Yes, boy crazy. Now it's the man crazy, love crazy, children crazy. I just love to love.
Tell us about some of the men that have been linked with your name, or whose names have been linked with you.
You tell me.
Prince Charles.
Oh, well, you know, he's my buddy. I'm his older woman. I'm 1 month older than he is. And we've only ever met officially. We have always never been alone for 1 second, although we have hidden behind a menu for a moment. He's wonderful.
Does he appeal to you as a physical man?
Oh, he's terribly attractive, and he's so witty and so funny and strong and brave, you know, and brave. And I like brave men.
When you were with your husband, you would have met the Queen.
Mm-hmm. Many times we had the honor.
Do you think if the Margaret Trudeau that we know now arrived at the gates of Buckingham Palace that they'd let you in?
If I had an invitation.
Without an invitation?
Without it, I'm very polite. I need an invitation, you know.
Could you imagine them inviting you these days? With all that sex, drugs, and rock and roll that you're associated with.
Well, they might think I might be a bad example, but mind you, they still think I'm a nice person, you know, and they know that I've got a lot of support. Prince Charles, just after I left Pierre, Prince Charles wrote me a lovely letter from Kenya saying he's battling, he understands what I've done. And he's battling at every frontier for my name and my honor. Well, what woman could be luckier than to have a fine prince defending her honor? You know.
You're a romantic.
Completely, totally. I believe in it so much. I'm so tired of boring, flat, rational, business-like kind of life. Ugh.
But don't you think that other people have to make compromises to meet the sort of demands you make?
Everyone has to make compromises, but don't make them too often, please. And don't make big compromises, please. They're not worth it in the end.
What's the greatest compromise that you've had to make?
Sitting here talking with you.
Hello, I'm Liz Hayes. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9 Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.